us. Thank you for being here. My name is Dr. Chad Brawley. I am the leader of the Brawley Group. The Brawley Group is a church consulting agency, and we help churches realize their vision for worship. And we help churches locate worship pastors, ministers of music, musicians, all of those types of things. And so we have a very special person on with us today. The pastor of the Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church, Dr. Turner, is with us, and wanted to give everybody an opportunity to meet him, to hear about the church, to hear about the position, to hear about vision and all that's going on. And so, good evening to you, and good to see you. How's
Good,
everything going out there in Memphis?
good evening, Dr. Brawley. All is well. It's hot, but things
Oh,
are
it's hot
going
there
well.
too.
Yeah.
It's so hot here. We're almost in the triple digits.
Ooh.
But it got to the 80s today, so
Oh yeah.
I'm not mad at it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's not so bad. It's not bad. It's
Well, I
not
want.
bad. All right. Well, listen, we're still here. We're still here. So let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about the church, and um how whatever you'd like to share with the general public.
Well, just quickly, I am the um, I'm the third of three boys that grew up in Nashville, Tennessee. My father was a pastor. Went to Fisk, on to Yale Divinity School, and New Haven, Connecticut is where I pastored my first church. But 12 years ago, the Lord ordered my steps to Memphis, Tennessee, to serve the wonderful people at Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. Um, my wife and I moved here with a newborn, and now we have two children. They're
Mm,
12 and 10 years old.
wow.
And
Wow.
so I've been blessed to lead this church, this one church in two locations in Memphis. The Midtown campus is in the medical district of Memphis, Tennessee. We have an exciting vision for that property that's 23 acres right in the heart of the city. And then we have a campus that's more suburban in the southeast um, area of Memphis, Tennessee, and Shelby County. Vibrant second campus, now at our second service at that campus. And church continues to have a great worship culture, but also a disciple making culture and a culture that really is compassionate and wanting to serve the city of Memphis and in causes around the globe. And I've been excited to serve them and am excited about what the future looks like for us.
That's good. That's good stuff. Y'all are really doing great work. One thing I love about Boulevard is that y'all are doing the work. Y'all are not just having church. Y'all are really in the community making a difference and touching people's lives. So that is a blessing. Tell us a little bit about the position, the open position, the Minister of Worship and Arts at Boulevard.
Yeah, so we are praying and discerning through the process of selecting our next minister of worship and arts, which is a important position in the life of our church. As I've shared, we have a very vibrant worship culture that is vital to the life of our church. And we're looking for someone who not only possesses musical gifts, but also spiritual gifts and gifts as well when it comes to administration, leading uh, large groups of people from our sanctuary choir to our praise team to our band, but also someone who has a heart and the intelligence to incorporate some of the other disciplines of the arts into worship. So, from dance to drama, we want to use every form possible to convey the message. And so that's what we're praying for, that God will send us someone who has a sense of call to our church and to our community that would help us to continue a legacy of musical excellence.
Talk more about the call because many have the gifts, many have the abilities. The administrative ability is very important, especially in roles like this, because there's so much to manage and so many moving pieces at one time. But talk a little bit more about the calling and why that matters.
Dr. Brawley, you know, in church life and churches that have staff, there's some who come intentionally to make this stop a insertion on their resume to go to the next spot. This season, I'm really believing God as I am beyond, the first decade of my tenure there, that God would send somebody who feels called to serve our church and the vision that God has given to us. Someone who will surrender to where God is sending them and would go all the way in and would have a commitment to be with us over the long haul. I hope that this person has such a call that they'll be with us, at least 10 years or better, and wants to help, grow the ministry into this next season of who we're becoming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All important.
So what'd you say?
I said the call is all important.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Would you talk a little bit about what the staff culture and the work culture is like at Boulevard? What does a week look like or a month look like in this area?
Oh, wow. Okay, big question. So, in terms of culture, it's a number of things. I believe in a culture of teamwork, that we want to win it all and we want to win it all together, that everybody is significant. So, whether you are part of our maintenance staff, or if you are on the platform leading people in worship, everybody's significant. Every role helps to impact our reach and how effective we are for the kingdom. But also, we're a culture of hard work. That we want people who are going to go all in, willing to give their all. We don't want it to be where 7 nights a week you're having to burn the midnight oil, but people who are willing to lay it all on the line for the sake of the gospel. A culture as well of ownership, and that's where this call thing is important. And when I
Hmm.
say
Hmm.
ownership, I mean they need to take the vision personal. That if Sunday doesn't go well, the senior pastor shouldn't be the only one who's in a funk. They ought to
Yeah,
feel a certain
yeah,
kind of way. If
yeah.
we didn't reach our goals, they ought to feel it personally. So ownership, but also accountability. Someone, people who are on our team, we want them to be able to, acknowledge if they, weren't able to, um, do their very best, and don't mind a senior leader, even a peer, coming to them and calling them out on it and helping encourage them to do better. But also, I will say this: we try our best to have fun.
Yeah.
That in ministry, it can be hard. It can be long nights, difficult days, but we want to incorporate fun as much as possible into the work we do. So not just in going out to Top Golf and having some fun together, but also in the office, in meetings. That as we're in the trenches, we want to make doing the work of the kingdom fun as well.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, that's also very important too. That there's a good time and camaraderie among the team. So, how would you describe the understanding that Boulevard has a long, rich musical history? How would you describe the worship culture, or the worship style, or even the worship vision moving forward with the church?
Yeah, so I would say our worship culture is probably three things: what it has been and what we hope for it to continue to be. It's a culture of diversity. We can go high church and we can go down home church. Um, we want to incorporate as many of the genres of African American sacred music into the worship experience, because there's an opportunity to reach everybody with our diversity. Secondly, it's a culture of excellence in every facet, from the way we sing, from the instrumentation, from the way that we present ourselves and what we wear. Um, it is a culture of excellence. But third, which probably is the most important thing, uh, it is a culture that seeks to glorify God. As a matter of fact, the diversity and the excellence all feed up into glorifying God. That God is at the center.
Mhm.
We don't get caught up as much in our own preferences, we want to defer to what's going to put a smile on God's face, and what is going to lead others who have gathered as a community of faith into God's presence on any given Sunday. And so that's how I would characterize the worship culture at the Boulevard. And um, when it comes particularly to the worship services, in the midst of worship, you may um, find that we also believe that in the tradition of the African American church, that the church is the center of the community. And so Sunday mornings, we are going to bring our congregant and others together up to speed on various social issues that are plaguing the nation, but also our city. And so that's the kind of worship culture that has been in place over, I believe, the 104 years we've been in existence, that which continues to exist to this day. We believe it's just going to go to another level in the future.
That's great. 104 years. That's a tenure. That's
Yeah,
good history,
yeah,
and solid. That's a solid foundation.
yeah.
So here's a question. Let me ask a question that probably someone interested in the position would definitely want to know. What is it like working with Dr. Turner? What is it like? How would you describe it?
One, I hope they will be a joyful experience.
Yes.
It's just part of my personality. I try to be joyful, and an encourager. What I'm leaning into more in this season of life and ministry is um, being leaning into being more honest with people. I've tended not to
Okay.
go all the way for fear that I don't want to hurt someone. But sometimes it's a disservice to them not to be completely honest about what I might feel or what I might think. Also, I don't believe in micromanaging. I believe um, whomever I hired you because you exhibited certain qualities or had certain experiences. We'll meet, we'll talk about the overall vision, but I'm going to trust your expertise um, in the particular area that I hired you. And as needed, I will, chime in and provide direction or redirect if necessary. But I like to give our team members freedom to live out their call and into their gifts. And
Hmm.
so the hard work, I believe, is done in the hiring process, finding the right person. And as we onboard them, to give them as much of my heart and direction as possible, so that as we get moving, they can just flow and do what they've been called and hired to do.
Yeah. So in the same way, what type of person probably would work best with you, understanding the church and the systems and everything? What type of person you think would fit in and work the best?
Want a self starter, somebody who doesn't wait to get prodded, or someone who can kind of have the kind of foresight to say, okay, I know these things are coming up. These are some things that I believe would be helpful and can begin working on these things and getting their teams aligned. Um, I think that the person would also have good interpersonal skills, not just in relating to me.
Hmm.
But I'm a Southern boy. Memphis is a Southern city. You're going to have to know how to talk to people, get along with people, cultivate relationships with our congregants. It's just how you're going to survive. Um, Also, someone who has great organizational skills and leadership capacity, um, that at times will find a sense of comfort in making the right call, whether or not they are, you know, praised for the decision that they've made, but knowing they've made the best decision possible. Um,
Hmm.
Someone who has um, clearly a great relationship with God, um, and is nurturing that relationship through spiritual disciplines, trying to be um, a follower of Jesus Christ, not just a cultural Christian, but really trying to live out what it means to follow after Jesus Christ. Um, I mean, the list can go on and on, but I think those are some core central things that a candidate would have. And I'll say this final thing: someone with um, emotional intelligence,
Mhm.
that we can take the work serious without taking ourselves too seriously. That won't take offense to an opportunity that's called out to improve, but can kind of note it and move forward and not take it personal.
Mhm. Hmm. So these all connect. This is really good. So talk a little bit about the value that you place and that the church places on mental wellness, particularly with regard to the staff, and how that is necessary as we do the type of work that we do.
Yeah. So we are very vocal about the importance of mental wellness. I can remember a couple of years ago something that caught on. I preached a sermon called "Check on Your Strong Friend," and it was really an opportunity for us to raise the issue of mental well-being, and
Mhm.
for us to be a church that advocates for employing the gifts and services of mental health professionals in order to be
Mhm.
well. Um, Helping our congregants to give themselves space and grace, that if they need to take a day, even as a staff member, you need to take a day just to level set, do that. We want you to be well and whole. The call to love God is not just with our heart and our soul and our strength, but also with our mind. And God wants us to be held healthy and whole when it comes to mental well-being. So we're really big on that at our church and sensitive to that, because we want to know that the people who not only make up our congregation but are part of our team are in a good space, and to do what's necessary, if not to get into that space.
Okay. All right. Um, would you talk a little bit about the office culture, and not so much culture, but um, uh, office schedule? Is this a situation where the person needs to be in the office all day, every day, kind of thing, or is there flexibility, or is it work from home, or what? How do you do it?
Yeah. So um, I believe the team needs some time together in the office.
Sure.
And the way that I kind of think about it generally is you need to spend enough time in the office to get the job done. Um, Secondly, to be available.
Hmm.
There's good work that happens just because you're in the office, and there might be some cross pollination that happens by just being in that same space organically. But then, thirdly, I think it's important to just connect with team members to build that camaraderie on the team, being present. And so, if those three things are kind of covered, I trust our team to make sure, hey, we're going to see your face in the office, but in the creative role, right? If your role requires quite a bit of deep work, that's something that might not be accomplished in the office. It might be at the
Right.
local coffee shop. It might be in your
Hmm.
home office, and so there's room for that because we want people, particularly when they create, to be in a space uh, where they are going to be at their best.
That's good to hear. I know a lot of people will be glad to hear that. That's good to hear. What about uh unplugging? How do you unplug? How do you have a good time? How do you relax and unwind from all of the ministry responsibilities?
So anybody who knows me knows I love hanging out with my wife. We just love hanging out, having a good time. And I have a 12-year-old and 10-year-old, so I love making time for them. Um, if it's not hanging out with them, I love I'm a movie buff. I love movies. So
Hmm.
might
Hmm.
be a good movie, might be a movie I've seen a million times, but I love watching movies.
Okay.
I love listening to live music, particularly jazz. And so when there are
Okay.
opportunities for that around the city, I'll go check out some jazz. Um, and I'm a Grizzlies fan. Whenever the NBA season is going, we're gonna go to FedEx Forum and catch a game. As a matter of fact, we call That's the third location of Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church. When you go to FedEx Forum to a Grizzlies game, you're gonna see the church in the building.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Um, let's talk a little bit about Memphis. I've heard a few people ask, well, what is it like moving to Memphis? What is it like living in Memphis? I know Memphis has barbecue and good food, but what about Memphis? So talk to us a little bit about Memphis,
Yes, we do have
and what it's like.
barbecue and good food. Uh, so make sure you have a good workout regimen if you're
Yeah.
given this role. Um, so Memphis, I'll say this: one, Memphis is a churchy city. It is a churchy city. Everybody goes to church,
Okay.
um, but it's also a soulful city. And so some of the musical legacy that has persisted in the city, from blues, soul music, Stax, Soulsville community, that permeates the city. And so I've loved it. I'm from Nashville originally. That's my hometown. Nashville is Music City because of the Fisk Jubilee Singers. But um, Memphis is a soulful city, and I've loved that
Okay.
about it. Memphis also has an art scene, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
in addition to music, there are a number of arts museums, but and then as well, one of the few Black-owned theaters in the country is in Memphis, Hattie Lou Theater. Um, the Orpheum is a good place you can always catch, um, you know, recording artist and also great stage plays. The Wiz just came through a few weeks ago, so got to check that out. Um, and what I appreciate about Memphis is its pace. Um, if you go to Atlanta, you're gonna be stuck in traffic half your life. Um, Many other major cities.
Yes, you will. Yes,
But the
for
pace
sure.
of Memphis is laid back. You're not going to sit in a traffic jam, and just overall, just good people. Like if you really get to connect and get to know the people, they are just good people,
Yeah.
and have a deep appreciation for it. And I'll say this finally. Um, just great history. One thing that Memphis has leaned into and lived into, uh, although we're tragically the place where Martin Luther King died, the city still kind of grabs a hold of the mantle of social justice. And so, really encouraged by that. It's one of the things that I believe God sent me here, is to move the push for social justice forward. And so, yeah, I like it. And I'll say this: one thing I love about Memphis is its quality of life because of the cost of living.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. You
Okay.
can get a whole
So
lot of
so your
house.
butt goes far. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Great
Okay.
place for in terms of cost of living.
Yeah. Texas used to be like that until the coastal people came in and started paying all these high prices and running everything up. So now Texas is high. But so that's good. So your money will go farther in Memphis. That's a really good thing. I want to take a moment and open up for questions. If anybody has any questions, I'm trying to look kind of back and forth in the comments. If any of you have questions, for Pastor, please put them in the comments, whether they're in the comments on YouTube or on Facebook. Please uh, mention any questions that you may have. Good evening, Richard Odom. I see you. Thank you for joining in. Let's see if we have anybody on the Facebook side. In the meantime, while I'm looking for these comments, is there anything else that you would personally like to share, Pastor, just about the position and about working with
Yeah.
you or working at the Boulevard?
Yeah, I would say this in terms of the worship and creative arts ministry of our church, some of the most committed and dedicated people, not just from the music side, also from the drama dance side. Um, I think the musical staff um, takes pride in what they offer each and every week, each and every service. And I love being here during the week and hearing them come in and practice and rehearse. But you can't get a more committed group of volunteers than our sanctuary choir and praise team. And the amount of preparation they do for rehearsal just blows my mind. And I'm deeply appreciative for their commitment to our church, and what they mean, I believe, to the life of Memphis. I would add, I think, um, one of the exciting opportunities for whoever takes this role is to curate our annual Christmas concert, which is a big event not only for our church but for the city of Memphis. It's a
Hmm.
Christmas tradition here in Memphis, Tennessee, and so it's a great opportunity that we've had from Lettucey to Ruben Studdard to Jonathan McReynolds to
Hmm.
Michelle, Avery Sunshine, to come
Hmm.
and bless the house. Anthony Hamilton even came to be a part of the Christmas concert. So it's a wonderful opportunity for someone who has that kind of mindset. And I hope and pray whoever the Lord sends our way will help put out the next Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church Sanctuary Choir album. We haven't done an album in years, and so I want to see
Okay.
if somebody would like to take up that particular project to put together an album. Um, so yeah, I just wanted to share and throw those things in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good vision. That's good vision. That's encouraging, especially for people who are really creative and think in those terms. So you just mentioned the dance and the drama. What are all the components that are under the worship arts ministry that are now?
Yes, so it's owning so music, dance, drama, also our front line. Um, Inside the building reports to them, so that would include our ushers and our greeters. So that total Sunday experience lives underneath this individual. And so that would really comprise, yeah, most of that department. So
Okay.
I just thinking of core units as well. Sanctuary choir, you have the praise team, you have as well a youth choir and a children's choir,
Hmm.
pretty large children's choir. About 60, 70 children are in that children's choir. So
Okay.
quite a lot.
And each of these areas have some form of leadership who will
Yes.
report to the worship arts person.
Yeah, great question. Yes. So each of those aspects either have staff or volunteer leadership that report to the Minister of Worship and Arts.
That's good. Okay. All right. All right. Well, um, I can attest personally to the high level and the high quality of the musicianship at the church, vocally, instrumentally. I had a chance to share and serve there once and had a wonderful time. The band is phenomenal, can play anything with musical integrity. The choir sings well. There's a team that's already in place. So whoever comes in doesn't have to start from scratch. There's a wonderful team that's already in place and the train is already moving. So it's really about having vision, jumping on the train, connecting with past and running with that thing. So um, please, if you have additional questions or want more information, you can email me at chad at thebrawleygroupconsulting.com. Um, if you'd like to apply for the position, same way, just send an email. We would love to hear from you and meet you. And we are praying and believing God that God will send the person who's supposed to be in this space. And we're believing God for that as God's church. Yes, sir.
We have a few questions on YouTube and on Facebook.
Okay. Let's see. Isaac Moshe. How many services? Hey, Isaac. First of all, thank you for joining in. How many services are at the Boulevard?
Three, 7:15 a.m., 9 a.m., 11 a.m.
Okay. And they're in different locations.
Right. So 7:15 and 9 a.m. are at the Southwind campus. And then 11 a.m. is at the Midtown campus. That's why we do our pre-worship meeting that we call the worship sync Saturday morning at 9 a.m. So that our floor directors and all those who have leadership roles in the Sunday worship service can go over uh, planning center to make sure everybody's in sync.
Okay. That's important. That's good. Someone is asking if the church has an orchestra.
So we don't. We partner with Memphis Symphony Orchestra for special events such as Resurrection Sunday, Christmas concert, Founders Day. And they come in, and of course, the Minister of Worship and Arts has to work towards, and the music director have to work with making sure the orchestrations are available to make that happen.
Okay. All right. And of course, all of this is part of the Christmas concert. It's full everything for the Christmas concert.
Yep.
Did you see any other questions?
Richard Odom has a question on YouTube. How often do you use the concert organ? How much pre-production is used before service, and is there any post-production?
All right.
So, I would like to use the concert organ more. Um, Being a son of Fisk University, I just have an appreciation, a love for concert organ, and so definitely would love to have that used more. It just brings a regality to worship, um, and a majesty of worship. We do so. Our pre-production is all pre-recorded, and so there's no live like pre-service interaction. We pre-record like a series of announcements that run before. Then we have something right at the beginning of the service called the Boulevard Blitz that um, shares the most important weekly announcements before we go into the worship experience. But definitely, there is room for creativity to bring pre-production and post-production alive.
Yes, yes. And with regard to pre and post production, with regard to specifically the music space, yes, there is pre production that happens. The band is on formats, on stems, able to do both.
Yep.
Um, there are times when there are pre and post recordings that are part of the process, depending on what it is. So the answer to your question with that is yes, both, all of the above. And let me say that it is an actual pipe organ. It's not just an electronic organ.
Mhm.
There are real pipes in the sanctuary. It is a real pipe organ, and it does play, and it plays well. It's in good condition, and so it is ready to be played.
Yep.
Let's see if we have any other questions.
Is there recording
Did you
studio
see
at the
any?
church? No, we do not have a recording studio at the church. Might have one in the future, but we don't have one. And there's one more. What does the practice schedule look like for a week?
Okay.
And so the band, on a regular week, the band will have their own times for practice. And so there's sometimes that's on a Wednesday evening at one of our campuses. Sometimes they sync their calendars and they come together during the day, particularly when they're preparing for like concert. It's not abnormal for them to have a couple hour practices in the middle of the week, and in the middle of the day. And so that's for the band aspect, but for the praise team and the choir, again, regular week just on Thursday. But for big performances, like leading up to the Christmas concert, they will probably rehearse Tuesday and Thursday each week. So some of the time will go towards preparing for the Sunday that's upcoming, and then the rest of the time will go towards preparing music for the concert.
Yeah, and it's a hard-working group. It's
Mhm.
they work hard to really make sure that that music is amazing. They work hard. Well, we've kind of come to the end of our time, and I don't see any new questions. Would you have closing words?
No, it's been a joy to work with
Yes, sir.
you in this process. To have had you here earlier this year really blessed the house, and I am prayerful. We're fasting and praying that God
Amen.
will move on someone's heart, and that we'll be able to align and move into this next season of ministry together.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Like I said, if you have any questions about the position, please reach out. There's plenty of information available and out there on my Facebook, as well as the church's website and social media spaces. So please find that information and send your information in if you're interested. Please share this information if you are aware of other people who may be interested and qualified for the position. And we're just praying that God will move, and we know that God will. So, Pastor, thank you for this time. Looking forward to what is to come. And God bless you, and God bless you all. Thank you all for joining in. Everybody have a great evening. Catch you later. Thank you.